Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. So Jennifer is basically saying that Evelyn has a thing against Black women. What do you guys think? Let me know. So I was minding my business and I saw the Neighborhood Talk post it. So I watched the video and it was basically Jennifer just saying she really feels like Evelyn be attacking Black women. And I thought about it and I was Now, isn't that something very similar to what OG said in the past? But people said she was chatting ish. She was chatting crap. Nobody wanted to hear what OG had to say. But then, after a while, I sat down and thought about it. And I was like, well, but Evelyn has an issue with everybody. I don't think there's been anyone on the show that Evelyn did not have an issue with at some point in the past. It's given anybody can get it regardless. Because when Tammy was on the show, Tammy, yes, I know Tammy's a Black woman, but she was of a fairer complexion. She also had issue with her at some point. Like when you think back to all the people on the show, she's had an issue with people on the show. Now, and I know you may be saying, yeah, but they're Black women. Absolutely. But then again, who else is on the show with her? Black women. So I feel like I don't necessarily think it's a thing about like the darker toned women are the people that are getting the brunt of it. I think that everybody can get it with Evelyn. I don't really necessarily think it is because of that. Besides, I also think that, Jen, you've been friends with this woman for so many years. Do you genuinely believe that she has an issue with Black women? If so, why were you friends with her for so long? Are you telling me that you didn't see signs? Are you telling me that this wasn't a thing that came up in the past? Because if you're only saying it now and you want us to believe you, we're looking at you and thinking, well, it's convenient because you're speaking on it now because she's speaking on your husband and you don't like it. Where was the energy in the past when she was so-called, in your words, attacking other Black women? Where was the protection for the other Black women in those cases? Instead, it felt like you joined in to help her attack said Black women. So it's not adding up is what I will say. Sorry about the background noise initially. I didn't realize that the fan was so loud. So I've switched it off now. But yeah, let's get back on track. So I just think like it feels a little bit like you don't like what Evelyn has to say about your husband. And so now you want to talk about her being or having issues with Black women. It was okay for you when you guys were besties, but now it's such a problem. So it's not adding up, sis. I don't know what it is, but it ain't adding up. Now, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button if you haven't already. Before we continue, do it now. Do it. Thanks, guys. Anyway, so I just think like it's a little bit of a reach for her to be saying that right now. And let's be clear, these accusations that she has been putting out about Jennifer's husband have been covered by a lot of different people in the social media streets. Now, I haven't been so close into it, so I haven't really gotten into all of the detail, but apparently it ain't looking good. So I'm just thinking, Jennifer, if there's some truth to those allegations, you need to be quiet before you incite people feeling like they need to step out and expose this issue. If I were you, I'ma keep it shush, mute. Also, apparently, Brooke also joined the chat and was trying to defend her good old buddy, Evelyn. Maybe Brooke is trying to secure her next season. Do we know? I'm not sure. But we know Brooke writes for her Evelyn, so I'm not surprised at all. Apparently, there was some comments about potentially letting that Jennifer let people put a battery in her back to push a narrative that isn't true, and that you were once a friend to Evelyn, and voicing your opinion about her relationship without production pushing the narrative. So it almost gives the impression that like Evelyn and Jennifer could have been cool, but they just let production push the narrative. So somebody then asked Brooke, so you can admit that Evelyn is pushing the narrative due to production. So she's like, nah, you need to reread what I said. That's not what I said at all. And then another fan basically said that Evelyn should have had a conversation with Jennifer instead of being the bully that she is. And then talked about the fact that it's okay for Evelyn to talk about her husband being a fraud. But when Jen says that her daughter had a baby with a felon, she gets threatened. Like, how is that fair, right? And then Brooke basically responded saying that Evelyn tried to have a private conversation with Jen. Maybe you missed that part. What does her daughter, as in Evelyn's daughter, have to do with Jen? If Jen had a daughter and that was the subject, I get bringing up Evelyn's daughter, but she doesn't. Brooke, I like you, girl, but Evelyn is taking it too far. If you are genuinely concerned about your friend, that's not how you take it. You've taken it entirely too far. Production or not, I don't care if production is in the background pulling the strings like a tea bag. Shout out to Nikki for that line. But seriously, I don't care if production are behind the scenes pulling the strings. It should not have gotten that far if you love your friend. I could never put my friend on blast, any of my friends, even ex-friends, on blast like that. That is just entirely too far. So Brooke, baby, please sit this one out. And in my opinion, whilst I don't really like bringing people's daughters into the mix, if you bring someone's husband into the mix, don't be surprised if someone brings your daughter into the mix because you don't have a husband. I'm sure if you had a husband, then she would have been like, okay, your husband, da 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 da. But of course, you don't have a husband. So she's thinking, who is the closest thing to you that would upset you, and then used your daughter? I don't think that's fair. I think that's sad. But at the same time, Evelyn took it too far. Evelyn started it and Jen was like, all right, I'm going to finish it. Because your daughter thought it was okay to open her legs to a felon who was accused of assailing a woman, right? So that's pretty serious. I honestly don't see what world where it would be okay for Evelyn to be doing what she's doing and saying everything she's saying and for Jen not to be able to clap back. So also, I watched the podcast with Evelyn and her daughter. I thought that was hilarious. And I'll tell you why I thought it was hilarious. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing, just the clip where she was talking about Jennifer. Now, the daughter did start off saying she understood why Jennifer brought the word felon out because Evelyn said it about her man and she basically just reversed it, which is exactly that. However, Shaniece lost me when she started talking about she's not surprised. Jennifer is not exactly her cup of tea. She's like a lost woman in her 50s. And I'm like, does that sound a little bit like someone else that Shaniece knows? Question. Sis, does that sound like your mom? This is just a question. I'm just asking the questions, honey. Anyway, Shaniece was like, this ain't the first time that Jennifer has done something like that in the past. She was being phony. She took accountability. She apologized. But didn't take accountability for her actions. And she had like fake tears in her eyes, right? And then she ends it off with like, she doesn't really hate Jennifer. She just feels sorry for Jennifer that she will stoop so low. And then she talks about like, women fresh out of postpartum. Fair enough. I get that. And I have all the empathy for that. And if anyone has been through pregnancy, it's very sensitive. I completely have empathy for that. Like, guys, if you think about the way I'm always bigging up women that have children, I get it. But I feel like your mom started it. So all this vim and energy you have for Jennifer, also, I'm going to need you to direct it as your mama because your mama started it. I'm just saying. She also said she feels like Jennifer is self-centered and selfish, doesn't worry about anyone but herself, and she doesn't see Jennifer as a girl's girl. Now, all those things may be true, but I think those things also seem very true for your mom, Evelyn. So I hope that when you're pointing those fingers at Jennifer, you're also thinking, well, my mom does seem like she fits into some of these things, right? Because I think there needs to be some awareness on both sides, on the side of Evelyn and on the side of you. Yes, you can feel how you feel, like, how did I get in it? Absolutely get that. But I do think Evelyn started it. That is all I want to talk about. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.